Welcome back to another episode of Warren Cali. After doing the Baby B Brazy story, I got a lot of requests to do a cellmate GB from Miller Gangsta Bloods, so that's what we're going to get into. Now, GB is from the Miller Gangsta Bloods, a gang history that dates back to the 70s. The gang was started on 120th Street in the Dory Miller Manor apartments between Central, which is in close proximity to other blood gangs that were formed around the same time, like the Acton Park Bloods. Both gangs will form a close alliance, which many people today even consider them the same gang, which they would call themselves AMGB, which stands for Acton Miller Gangsta Bloods. The Millers and the Acton Parks are close, so of course they would have the same rivals, and the majority being Crips like the Kitchen Crips and the East Coast Crips, and the beef with the Kitchens led to GB's current incarceration. GB was a well-known member of the Miller Gangsta Bloods. From 2009 to 2016, GB had convictions for felony vehicle theft, possession of a firearm by a felon, second-degree robbery, forgery, misdemeanor driving without a license, and possession of a controlled substance. He received multiple state prison bids for this. In December of 2015, GB, who was identifying himself as King Miller, sent a text on Instagram indicating that the Kitchen Crip members were armed with guns and driving around the territory looking for Miller Gangsta Bloods. GB said he was about to go get a gun. That same day, GB texted another member of his gang who was identified as a man named Rock Solid. GB told him that people were driving around with guns and confronting people in the area. GB then texted that he was on his way and was going to see if he could get a gun. Two men named AM and Ian were on a patio on East 120th Street. The patio was near an alley. The patio was enclosed and had a gate. The location was in between the Kitchen Crips and the Miller Gangsta Bloods territory. The alley contained Kitchen Crips hit-ups. A car stopped in the alley, and an older man known as Poppy and some young man exited the car. Poppy told the young man to tag the walls up, which they did. Rock Solid DM'd GB on Instagram and said they keep coming out the alley. There was an alley in the 800 and 900 blocks of East 120th Street. Rock Solid later texted GB and said his evil bitch ass and Poppy. GB texted that he was coming with a gun, and he asked if there was a car around so they can do a mission, but he said they would not shoot out the car. Surveillance video from the apartment building on East 120th Street showed video of two armed men walking northbound through the alley, and one of the men who detectives later identified was GB. GB supposedly wore a sweatshirt with the letters TKE and a tan cargo shorts and Puma classic shoes. The two men walked in the direction of the patio where Ian was sitting. Additional surveillance video from East 120th Street showed Rock Solid walk westbound towards the patio. GB walked westbound, then northbound between two cars. At that point, GB looked to his right, revealing more of his face on the camera. After GB walked northbound between the cars, he joined Rock Solid. GB and Rock Solid approached the patio, where AM and Ian were near the Kitchen Crip hit-ups. AM later said that he and Ian were sitting on the patio talking. Ian stopped talking and stood and walked towards the patio gate. Then he was shot in the head. Surveillance video showed that Rock Solid raised his arm as if he was firing a gun. At that point, GB goes low and appeared to reach his arm around. Both 9 and 4.5 shell casings were found at the scene. GB and Rock Solid fled after the shooting, and a surveillance video depicted someone wearing a burgundy sweater running back towards the camera. The person's face was not visible. This led to police searching through the Millers and Acton Park Bloods videos, which GB was seen in. Detectives began investigating the shooting. That led to detectives discovering GB's account, where he had the same sweatshirt and shoes on in pictures that allegedly he did in the shooting. Surveillance video showed two photographs depicting GB carrying a gun and walking in the alley. Another showed GB walking and putting the gun under his sweater. Police started watching and observing GB for months, which they watched him hang out with several blood members. This led to them being certain that he was one of the shooters. On April 28, 2016, police arrested GB. They searched a one-bedroom apartment where he lived. The police found a sweatshirt that bore the letters TKE and also the tan cargos. The sweatshirt and the shorts were said to be the ones that were in the shooting. When interviewing GB, he told the police he heard about the shooting on 120th. He also admitted that he always was in the area. GB initially stated that he did not know whether he was in the area before Ian was shot. GB later acknowledged that he was in the area at the time because he had gone to visit family. GB also said he did not think he had a red sweatshirt on, but when detectives told GB that police saw him walking and wearing a red or burgundy sweatshirt with the letters TKE, GB then replied, "Obviously if I did, I guess I had it on." GB denied owning Pumas. He acknowledged that he formerly owned a pair from December to April. He said he got rid of them because they wore out. He also told detectives he knew of Ian and that he didn't think he was a gang member. At GB's trial, everything would come down to his clothing and the surveillance videos around the shooting. Some of the angles were not clear and didn't show GB's face clearly, but the clothing worn in the shooting being found in an apartment that he lived in and his messages were Rock Solid put him to the crime. At trial, detectives went on about GB's gang affiliation with the Miller Gangsta Bloods and also brought up videos and rap lyrics. This will lead to GB being sentenced to 75 years to life. GB has been in prison since 2017 and is now 33 in Kern Valley State Prison. Just a few months ago, he started to pop up on Baby B Brazy's YouTube channel from behind bars, called The Who's Who's. That channel went viral and has been making noise all over the YouTube world. And just like Baby B Brazy, GB would tell his stories and would face a lot of controversy. And some people will have issues with GB's stories, like Inglewood family member, Munchie B.
Niggas over here, little E-Mac and my boy, they over here getting into it. Him and my boy over here getting into it with Lady Brim. She in the middle of both of them. They get to pushing each other with one arm. Let's go squad. We'll do with that. So they getting into it. Boom, boom, boom. So while they getting into it, out the corner of my eye, I see my boy Max Sauce pimping, getting into it with Lady Brim. Getting into it with Lady Brim, and you know pimping ain't doing too much talking with homegirls and not. So Max Sauce put her down with the hand. Pow! I repeat, with the pow! Stop playing, you got the homies getting into it up here. Max Sauce slapped Lady Brim down. Homie tried to step up for his homegirl. You know what I'm saying? Man, my boy named Bisco. Families. I am. Bisco. You know what I'm saying? Step up for Lady Brim, Max Sauce, put him down. I said he 2 for 2 tonight. It was, the homies from Inglewood was out there kind of deep, and you had the Anthony Middle Lanes out there. It was looking crazy. Like, man, like, what's finna happen? He smacked both of them down. They both got up like that, like old boy on Friday, Red Daddy, when he got knocked out by Devo. He said, you want something to this, old man? No. They all got in the car and got up off of the Pedro, off the Avalon, all that shit. They go.
Shout out Hoes. Go like and subscribe to them. But, it's one, let me see, it's been 1, 2, I think it's been 2 stories about one of my homies from my community. Now this is number 3. I ain't say nothing about 1 and 2. I just ain't jumping out the window for anything, but when I know something completely is outlandish, I gotta say something. Lil Mad, you say you was standing next to Lil Mad, said that didn't happen. Without even asking him, I knew that didn't happen, right? The homie Big Bisco is not getting slapped, hitting the pavement, getting up, getting in the car and driving off. Not gonna happen, bro. Not gonna happen. It wasn't even Baby Brim. Her name ain't Lady Brim, it's Baby Brim. It wasn't even her. It was Lady 7 that got slapped. They get to squabbling. The homies from Lanes hop in on the homie Fat Boy. And that's what that was. Some more B-team, intoxicated, shenanigans. And the next week, everything was peachy and back cool. Who's losing credibility, bro? Hey, MB. What? No, MB. GB3. Didn't you told a story about old boy from Carver? That was incorrect. You have to take it down. Hey, look, GB, stay on your bunk, bro. No more stories for you, bro. You on too, bro. You down bad. Y'all need to take this down, bro, because it's false. You know what I'm saying? And Baby Brim didn't get touched at all. Free her. You know what I'm saying? The homie Big Bisco. What are you talking about, bro? And that's what I'm saying. If your memory fuzzy with these stories, don't tell it. Wait till you collect all the facts, bro. I hollered at Lil Mad. He said that didn't happen.
Now, GB's earliest parole date is 2051. Like most men behind bars, he's hoping to get an appeal soon. This will conclude this episode. If you haven't already, check out my previous episodes. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.